Welcome back to Pandora Workshop. Today we're making this Aqua Gold dice set. We're really happy with how these turned out, and we even tried playing around with some inserts to really achieve that cloudy water effect. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's jump right into it. First, as always, we're mixing our resin following the instructions and using gloves and protective gear in a well-ventilated room. We then give it a mix for a good minute and a half or 2 minutes, and then let it sit for a bit to start getting the bubbles out and let it thicken up so it's easier to work with when we start adding pigments and inserts. While the resin sits, we're going to use a bunch of gold leaf flakes and insert them directly into the mold. This technique helps you place the flakes exactly where you want them. For this set, we wanted the flakes to be noticeable and strategically placed just on some of the faces. As you can see, they're incredibly delicate to work with, and we needed the help of a brush to not take out half the bottle when trying to pick one out. After inserting them with the help of tweezers, we used a brush to press the flakes into place and make sure they didn't move. Now we move to the fun part. We had this paper from another project, and it's a really interesting texture. It has a lot of fibers, and we thought it would be interesting to insert it and see how it reacted. Of course, the paper itself will mostly disintegrate, but in our vision, the larger fibers would still be visible, and everything would contribute to give that misty, cloudy effect of the sea. So after tearing up small pieces, we crumpled them up and put them to the side to use in just a minute. Before adding any color, we poured clear resin to fill out about a third of the mold, as well as all over the cap, to play around with different transparencies. Now it's time to color our resin. We used a single drop of grass green to achieve a subtle green, since we wanted it to be very sheer. Colors tend to cure a little lighter than what you see in the cup when you're mixing them, so keep that in mind if you're trying to achieve a very subtle hint of color. We also added in a single drop of this pearly white that has a little sparkle to it, so the dice could have a bit of a sheen. Before pouring in the color, we added in the crumpled pieces of paper using tweezers. Then we started pouring the green resin. By now we had a little over 2/3 of the mold full, and this is the moment to add in some white. Using 1 drop of plain white alcohol ink, we let it start dropping on its own, and then, using a toothpick, we gave it a couple of swirls to achieve different effects. Then we add the rest of the resin into the mold and give it a minute for air bubbles to start appearing on the surface. Then we pop those using our blowtorch. Once again, a lighter or a heat gun work just as well, but we feel very powerful using a blowtorch. Finally, it's time to pop on the lid using our keys as a guide, and make sure you give it a nice tap to remove the excess resin. Then it's off to the pressure pot for about 24 hours. One of the most satisfying parts of making dice is pulling off the flashing. But once that's off, it's time to see how they turned out. And right out of the mold, we already love them. They're just what we were going for. As you can see, the paper is mostly gone, but it's left behind some really cool textures that make it all seem very misty. The white swirls also help give it that moving water effect. Overall, they're just a very peaceful looking set. To make the numbers, we used a pale blue color from Vallejo because we wanted to keep it within the aqua theme. And this color has a slight hint of green in it that ties it all together really nicely. When inking dice, we usually just slap on all the paint, then once it's mostly dry, use some alcohol in a paper towel or a microfiber cloth to wipe away all the excess on the faces. We're really happy with this set, and in fact we're going to use them in just a few hours for our next game, so let's just hope they have some good rolls in them. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and comment letting us know what you would have called this set. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.